He was the boss, confident, arrogant, and thinking he controlled everything. He looked down at her, a black cleaning lady quietly wiping the floors, and froze. As you watch this, think for a moment. Have you ever seen someone underestimated just because of who they are? Keep that in mind, because this story will challenge everything you think about power and respect. The words he had just said, the shocking promise he thought was harmless, hung in the air, powerless against what he saw. No one expected this moment. No one anticipated the turn it would take. How could one simple act reveal so much about who we really are? What happened next would leave everyone stunned, and change the way he saw her forever. It was another busy morning at the office skyscraper downtown. Lily, the cleaning lady, moved quietly through the polished hallways, pushing her mop and cart with practiced ease. She'd been working here for years, always unnoticed, always in the background, her dedication invisible to everyone but herself. Outside, the city buzzed with life, but inside these walls, the hierarchy was clear. Executives with power, employees with tasks, and people like her, quietly keeping things running. Today, like any other day, she expected routine, empty floors, ringing phones, and the occasional glance of indifference. What she didn't know was that one casual encounter with the boss, someone she had never spoken to, would turn the ordinary into something unforgettable, something that exposed the biases hidden in plain sight. Lily had finished cleaning the executive offices and was making her way to the next floor when the boss appeared. He was known for his charm but also his arrogance, the kind that made everyone else shrink in his presence. Today, he stopped in front of her, clipboard in hand, and gave a casual smirk. "Fly this helicopter," he said, almost jokingly, "and I'll marry you." For a moment, Lily froze. The words hung in the air like a bad joke, but the way he looked at her made her stomach twist. It wasn't a compliment, it wasn't flirtation, it was disbelief that someone like her could even imagine stepping into his world. Around them, the office buzzed with activity, yet it felt as though the floors had emptied, leaving just the two of them in a suspended, impossible moment. She opened her mouth to respond, but nothing came out. She had faced discrimination before, the cold glances, the whispered comments, the assumption that her job defined her, but this was different. This was blatant. Public. He was testing her, daring her to react, and secretly enjoying the shock her presence caused. And then, something in his expression shifted. He froze. His confident smirk faltered. For the first time, he didn't control the room. He didn't control her. Lily realized what had happened. The promise, the joke, and the entire display of arrogance had collided with reality. She wasn't invisible. She wasn't just a cleaning lady. Her eyes met his, steady and unflinching, and suddenly, the power dynamic cracked. Colleagues glanced over, sensing something unusual, tension rising in the air. Whispers started, unsure, curious, electric. The boss stepped back, unprepared for the silent storm in front of him. He had thought his position, his wealth, his authority, and the color of her skin gave him the upper hand. But for the first time, he was caught off guard. The hallway, once a stage for his superiority, became a mirror, reflecting his own prejudice back at him. Yet, the moment wasn't over. Lily's mind raced. What should she do next? Should she speak up, confront him, or simply walk away and let the day pass? She knew that whatever decision she made, it would have consequences, not just for her, but for everyone watching. Every step she took now could ignite change, or invite more scrutiny. As she squared her shoulders and prepared to respond, the office seemed to hold its breath. What would happen next? Could one quiet act of defiance unravel years of bias and expectation? Or would it all collapse back into the familiar hierarchy, leaving her voice unheard once again? The answer was about to unfold, and no one could have predicted the shock that would follow. Before the next moment hits, take a second, watch closely, because what happens now will completely flip everything you think about power, respect, and courage. Don't blink. You won't want to miss this. The boss's eyes widened, disbelief etched across his face. 4 years, he had never seen someone like Lily stand so tall, so unshakable. His smirk vanished, replaced by a flicker of fear and frustration. Around them, colleagues paused mid-step, sensing the tension crackling like electricity in the hallway. Every whispered judgment, every assumption he had made about her role, her worth, her place, was collapsing in real time. Lily took a slow, deliberate step forward. Her voice remained calm and steady, but every word carried the weight of years of dismissal and prejudice. She didn't plead, and she didn't apologize. She simply exposed the truth of who she was, a person capable, skilled, and worthy of respect. The air felt charged, the office silent except for the distant hum of elevators and the faint click of heels. The boss tried to recover, opening his mouth, but no words came. In that moment, his authority, ego, and the invisible walls he had built around himself all faltered. He realized that this wasn't a challenge he could manipulate or dismiss. He had underestimated her, and the realization struck harder than any insult or confrontation ever could. Lily's presence alone became a mirror, reflecting his prejudice back in full clarity. The fear of exposure, the shame of his assumptions, and the raw, undeniable injustice he had inflicted on countless others pressed down on him. For the first time, the power didn't belong to him. The power belonged to her. And then, just as the tension reached its peak, the moment froze. Every eye in the hallway was on them, every whispered thought waiting for what would come next. Would he react with anger, with denial, with dismissal, or would he finally see the truth he had avoided for so long? Lily's next move would define everything, not just her, but the world around her. The answer hung in the air, electric and impossible to ignore, and the hallway held its breath. The hallway finally exhaled. The boss stepped back, the arrogance gone from his face, replaced with a quiet, uneasy acknowledgement of what had just happened. Lily continued her work, steady and composed, her dignity intact, but the atmosphere had shifted forever. For the first time, people around her saw her not as invisible staff, but as a person with strength, intelligence, and undeniable presence. If you're still watching, pause for a moment and reflect. Think about how many times you've underestimated someone without even realizing it. Keep watching, because the ending will give you a lesson you won't forget. What happened that day wasn't just a personal victory, it was a reflection of a larger truth. Too often, those who face bias and discrimination are expected to stay silent, to accept the world's assumptions about their worth. But moments like this remind us that courage can expose prejudice, challenge assumptions, and force people to confront uncomfortable truths. Lily didn't seek recognition or praise. She simply existed as herself, refusing to be diminished, refusing to be overlooked. And in that quiet defiance, she revealed something powerful. Respect and equality are not granted, they are recognized when someone dares to claim their space, unapologetically. As the office returned to its routines, the memory of that moment lingered. The boss would never forget the way reality had shattered his expectations, and the colleagues who had witnessed it carried a lesson of humility and awareness. And for anyone watching this story, the question remains, how often do we fail to see the people right in front of us? How many chances have we missed to recognize someone's worth beyond stereotypes and appearances? This isn't just Lily's story, it is a story repeated countless times, a story of resilience in the face of injustice. And it challenges each of us. When confronted with bias, will we be silent or will we act? Will we allow courage and dignity to redefine what others expect of us? The choice is ours, and the moment to act is now. If this story moved you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss more stories like this. Follow along, because there are countless untold stories of courage waiting to inspire the world, and your support ensures they reach the people who need them most.